COVID-19 cases are on the rise in the United States. Scientists are saying that we need to mask up. They're warning against gathering together in large groups. There are schools shutting down across the nation in order to slow the spread, or because there's not enough people in their schools to have school, whether it be students or faculty. Also, we are on the cusp of yet another election cycle. No, this is not 2019, but this is 2023, and it seems as though we are going to have the same song, but a different verse. And I have to ask myself, how come? And it seems to be the major push, once again, is to make sure everybody is vaccinated, but this time with the other new vaccine. Comment down below, what would you do different than what you did the first time? And also, I'm going to talk about the fact that there is a way they achieve the goal, and we have to think about those ways, and we have to understand that in order for them to achieve their goal, life's probably going to get hard on you and I. This is Built on Faith Homestead. Let's have a discussion.
I once was lost, oh, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
First, let me show you a video clip of our president who embarrassingly has trouble putting sentences together. But let's watch the clip.
President, can you say anything about the uptick of COVID cases and the new variant?
Yes, I can. Matter of fact, I signed off this morning on a proposal we have to present to the Congress a request for additional funding for a new vaccine that is necessary, that works. And tentatively, not decided finally yet, tentatively it is recommended that, would likely be recommended that everybody get it, no matter whether they got it beforehand.
So if you'll notice, what he said is everybody's going to have to be vaccinated. Even if you've already had the first COVID-19 vaccines, you're going to have the new and greatest and updated vaccine, right? Because they got to chase the variants. Now, you might be thinking, Justin, surely we're not doing this again. It's not going to work. There's people that have awakened to what happened last time. They know that the masks were ineffective. They know that the greatest, latest doohickey was not safe or effective. We have people that's got myocarditis all across the world now. There's people dropping like flies. Death tolls are higher than they've ever been in some countries. Athletes are falling down on the field while they're watching or while they're playing games, and the whole world's watching, and people are awakening to the fact of how dangerous this was last time, and it seems as though there is some sort of depopulation plan afoot. People seem to understand that. So why would they do this again? My simple answer is because it was effective the first time. Think about this for just a minute. I had a football coach that did this in high school. We ran the same play. The most I ever remember, we ran the same play 16 times in a row one time. When asked why, the coach said, well, because they couldn't stop it the first time. So why would we stop? Why would we change it up? There's no reason to show our hand into something different if they can't stop what we did the first time. Here's what California had to say, and I want you to pay close attention to the date, and I want you to pay close attention to what they say about vaccines. Once again, notice the date. This is not from 2019, but this is from August 10th, 2023 at 4:45 p.m. Californians' COVID-19 state of emergency is over, but COVID-19 has not gone away. To safely go about our daily lives, we need to keep taking steps to prevent the spread. So what is one of the first things it says you can do right now to help? Well, get your kids and yourself vaccinated and boosted. It is our best tool to end the pandemic. Vaccination is safe, effective, and free. It apparently did not end the pandemic the first time because they said we have to keep taking steps to slow the spread of COVID-19. Also, you need to get a digital vaccine record. You can access a digital copy of your vaccination record if you got vaccinated in California. Save it on your phone and use it as proof of vaccination wherever you go. Well, if it's not going to be mandatory, why would I need proof? Here is a list of do's according to the state of California. Get vaccinated and boosted. Isolate if you test positive. If you have symptoms, talk to your doctor about treatment. Consider wearing a mask when levels of COVID-19 infections are higher. Get tested and stay home if you're sick. Get tested if required by your workplace, and wear a mask to protect the vulnerable. Here's a list of don'ts. Do not lose your proof of vaccination. Once again, if it's not going to be required, how come? Think you can't get the virus or pass it because you feel well. Assume everyone is vaccinated. Expect all COVID-19 rules everywhere to be lifted. Attend large events if you're sick or travel if you're sick. Gathering safely. Get vaccinated. Get tested. Check out local conditions. Now remember, this is not from 2019. This is not from 2020 or 2021 or 2022. This is from August of 2023. Same song, different verse. So if you'll notice, one of the most important things the state of California said that you can do is to get vaccinated. And then once you get vaccinated, make sure you're up to date, right? You got all the boosters and all the new vaccines and all those kinds of things. And then you need to make sure that you have a digital record of this vaccine. And one of the things they say you don't do or you shouldn't do is to lose that digital record of vaccine. A simple question I have is why? Well, it would seem as though you're going to need proof of vaccination. Why are you going to need proof of vaccination? Could it be so that you can get a job or so that you can go to the grocery store down the road? See, I have said for a long time that this is just a bulldozer, if you will, clearing the path for the mark of the beast that the Bible says would come. I remember studying vaccines a long time ago. This was way before COVID-19. And I remember I came out of my office and I told my wife, I said, boy, I know this is going to sound crazy, but this seems to me that vaccines are the precursor to the mark of the beast, because children, they can't go to public schools, and we chose not to vaccinate our children after we learned some about some of these vaccines. We can maybe talk about videos on Rumble. Maybe I could do a Rumble video on why. I can't on YouTube. Every time I try, I get a strike. But we chose not to, and our doctors said, that's fine, that's your choice, but we can no longer see you. And we had to hunt far and wide to find a doctor that would see our children for regular checkups and those kinds of things, and allow our children to be a patient of theirs if they needed some sort of medical attention, right? Because they weren't vaccinated. And I remember telling my wife, it seems like a precursor. And that sounded crazy then. It makes a lot more sense now. Now that we see this push for everybody to be vaccinated and everybody to have this vaccine ID, this digital certificate of some sort or whatever it is to prove your vaccination status, so that, why? So that you can have a job, and so that you can go to work, and so that you can go to the restaurants, and so that you can go out to the baseball game or the football game or wherever that it might be, so that you can operate in life as we regularly know it. Now, how do they get everybody to do it? Because once again, there's a lot of people awake even now. Maybe there's going to be a little bit more resistance now. Well, how do you get people to get vaccinated then? Well, one of the ways that you do it is you have a great fear campaign, right? And here's the truth of the matter. The Bible says that there's going to be pestilence all around the world, and that's going to kill a lot of people. So I'm not saying that there won't be sicknesses on a worldwide scale that governments will warn about that won't actually be really, truly deadly. Like, that's going to happen, right? And if I was trying to really set a trap for people, one of the things that I would do was I would send out, if I was really evil and I really wanted to really get people, right? One of the things that I probably would do is I would send out something that's not so dangerous, and then eventually it would be really dangerous. But see, there'd be a lot of people convinced it wouldn't be so bad, right? There's all kinds of different records of things like this happening. There's one cult in particular in my mind. I can't remember the name of it, but the guy had them drinking Kool-Aid, right? And every day they drank Kool-Aid, and the Kool-Aid was safe. It didn't hurt them. And then the last time, it had poison in them, and it killed them, right? Same type of way with these viruses, right? If they are being released, I'm saying hypothetically speaking, YouTube, if this were to be the case, man, it'd be really easy to get a whole lot of people killed off if it wasn't very dangerous, and it wasn't very dangerous, and everybody kind of knew it, but they always hyped it up real big and got everybody terrified. And then all of a sudden they roll out one that is really dangerous, and it kills a whole lot of people because people that have seen it in the past not be dangerous are just not concerned about it whatsoever, right? That would be effective. However, how do you get people to take this vaccine? Well, you have to have some sort of fear, right? You got to be scared to death not to. And then for those that aren't scared, you have to get at them some way, somehow, whether it be their pocketbook, whether you try to infiltrate their business, their corporation they work for, and try to make sure that you have to have it in order to go to work, whether it is you have to have it to go to the grocery store, whether it is you have to have it to go see a doctor, whether it is you have to have it to go to the football game or to travel, right? There's a lot of people that would say, absolutely not, I'm not getting it. But if their loved one lived in a state next to them, and the federal government said in order to travel from state to state, you have to be fully vaccinated, it would be, a lot of people would cave and go, you know what, I'm just going to get the vaccine so I can go see my family member. There's something else interesting that I found is the UN has started this civil society commission, and what they're trying to do is infiltrate, if you will, in a lot of ways, these civil societies. Things like churches would be a civil society, and they want to use those civil societies to push the agenda forward that the UN wants to push, which we all know about the pandemic accord and all of those kinds of things, if you'll go read about all of that stuff, right? And they want to use these civil societies to do so. And so what if it becomes, it's your patriotic duty, or it's your brotherly duty? If you're a Christian, if you're a Bible-believing Christian, you love your neighbor, right? Then you've got to get this shot because you got to protect them. I want you to apply a little common sense to that. I'm going to ask you a question. If we're all riding in a boat down the lake, and you're wearing a life jacket, but I choose not to, and that boat tips over, and the guy in the life jacket drowns, is it my fault because I wasn't wearing a life jacket? Am I going to do anything to make that individual drown? No, he would be protected, or supposed to be. It must have been something else that occurred, right? He got knocked in the head and he drowned, or whatever it was, but it can't possibly be the person who didn't wear the life jacket's fault. Right? Like that. Same thing in a seatbelt in a car, right? If I choose not to wear my seatbelt and I get in a car accident, is it going to kill you while you sit at your house? No, probably not, right? Generally speaking. I guess unless you want to say I get like thrown out of the car and through your house and I land on you and it kills you, right? But we know common sense wise, if it's so great and so effective, you should be protected even if I don't take it. Anyhow, when you apply some common sense to it, it all begins to fall apart. However, if they're going to push this agenda, there's a way they go about it. There's a way that it happens. There's a way they achieve their goals. And the only ways that I can see them achieving this goal is to make life miserable on people like you and I. To make life so miserable that you can't go and buy groceries without it, that you're starving, that you're hungry, that you got a family to feed, and you have to go to work, you have to somehow provide. So you know what? You've got to take this. You have to fall in line. And you say, Justin, why do you think this is a precursor to that mark of the beast? Well, I think it's a precursor to that mark of the beast because that's exactly what the mark of the beast says it will be, right? You'll have to have it to buy and sell, which has all kinds of implications behind it, right? You'll have to have it in order to go to work. You'll have to have it in order to make money. You'll have to have it in order to purchase goods. You'll have to have it to be able to pay the taxes on your land. If you are homesteading right now and you're watching this video and you think you've got everything paid for and you'll never have to worry about it because they can't come and take it, you are mistaken, my friend. You will still have to pay taxes on that place. And when you can no longer pay taxes, they will come take it. Or what if they come to you and decide that you're a menace to society because you won't accept their mark of the beast? Then what if they come to you and say, you know what, since you're a menace to society, you're a domestic terrorist or whatever, so we're going to go ahead and take you off of your land and imprison you. It's those kinds of things. It's those kinds of ways they achieve those goals. My plea with you, my beg with you is two things. A, churches, I want to speak to you for a minute once again. Please stick together. And please, 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 please do not shut down again. And B, understand there's a way they achieve the goals they're trying to achieve. And make no mistake about it, they're going to push and shove all that they can to achieve those goals. Do not take this fight lightly. Do not take this understanding lightly. Do not take the world around us lightly. Satan is a defeated foe. However, he is still a strong foe. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you in the next video.